You look like a little steamboat. The workshop, as you know, I'm setting it up in the south. I'm here at my house in Perkay, and I have very few tools. Today's project we're going to do with a drill, a circular saw, and screws, nothing else. I think it's an ideal project now for the summer. In fact, this table we're going to make, the picnic table, I'm going to put it here in my garden. And then, obviously, I'm going to show you how it turned out, and at the end of the video, I'll also tell you how much money we spent in total. I had wanted to try these SPAC screws for a while, so this is going to be a good opportunity to test them out. They're made of stainless steel and have this star or Torx tip, which I've always liked a lot. These screws are a little more expensive, but they say they're some of the best out there. Let's see, we're going to make this table entirely out of 2x6 planed pine. In this case, I let this wood rest for a couple of days. I recommend that you let it rest for at least 1 or 2 weeks so it can stabilize. When we buy wood at the hardware store, it's common for it to warp after a couple of days at home. So the idea is that you stack it, ideally with some weight on top so it stabilizes, and then you use it. The first thing we're going to do is trim the end of this chair. Boards usually don't come perfectly at 90 degrees, and besides, it's better if we remove this ugly paint. The plans for this table, the complete plans with the measurements, geometry, angles, everything will be free. On my website, barquitodevapor.com, I'll leave a link. You just click, and you can download the plan. No questions asked. You don't have to enter your email, nothing. Just click. And you'll have it for free. So you can follow along with the plans and also with the help of this video, and that's it. Thank you. Thank you. We have to cut 9 boards to 2 meters. These will be the benches and the tabletop. 9 at 2 meters. I recommend that you always mark the side where the saw needs to cut. This is our leftover piece, and this is our measurement. So the saw blade should cut on the outside. I recommend that you use the straightest, least warped boards for the tabletop and the benches, since those are the longest pieces. The sawhorse part or the base of the table are shorter pieces, so if they're a little warped or twisted, it will be less noticeable or less of a problem. When using longer boards, warping is amplified. Now we're going to cut the legs of the table. For that, we're marking an angle with the speed square. It's super easy. We have to use this pivot here, move it like this, using this part as the pivot. With the square, we can find different angles. This leg is going to go at a 60-degree angle or 30 degrees, depending on how we measure it. In this case, we have to bring the speed square right there exactly at 30 degrees and make a mark here. Once we have this leg cut at an angle, we can use the same leg we cut as a template to mark the others. There are 4 legs in total. It starts to rain just as I begin woodworking outside. Drops are starting to fall. The good thing about using the pieces we've cut as a template is that if we make a mistake in the measurement, for example, or in the angle, that mistake will be repeated with the other pieces, so they'll all end up the same. Basically, that's what's important, that these leg pieces are all the same. If they're a centimeter more or a centimeter less, it's not such a big deal. Now we're going to cut the C pieces, which are 2 pieces 76 centimeters long, and they have the same angle as the legs. But unlike the legs, which have the angles running parallel, one angle goes that way and the other goes that way, so they're parallel, like this and like this. This piece has the angles facing each other. I don't know how to say it, but one goes this way and the other goes that way. The measurement of 76 centimeters is for the longest part. We need to cut 2 of these pieces. Now let's move on to the D pieces. D as in David. There are two pieces, each 1 meter 60. These boards are 3 meters 20, so we should be able to get those two pieces from a single board. That way, we won't have any left over and we'll save money. Now let's move on to piece E. There's one of them, and it's 66 centimeters long, also with the two angles like this, opposite each other. This is the piece that will go in the middle of the tabletop, which will receive the two diagonals that will brace our table and give it stability. Piece F consists of two units, each 86 centimeters long, but it has the tricky angle in this project, which is this one, and they are parallel angles. And it's a specific angle that I got from the SketchUp model. It's an angle of 66.7 or 22.3. I mark this angle with the speed square at 22,
Dos.
an angle that's around there. This is what the paper says, the theory. I recommend that you cut this final angle once you have assembled the base of the table, and that you place the piece and based on that, cut the angle. I'm going to do it based on the SketchUp model and we'll see if it works for me. Or you can cut it a little longer and then adjust the angle. So we have the A pieces, which are the top, and the benches, 9 pieces, each 2 meters long. All of these pieces are 2 by 6. Then we have the B pieces, which are 4 units of 88 centimeters with parallel angles. These are the legs. The C pieces, 2 units of 76 centimeters. The D pieces, 2 units of 1.60 meters. We have the E piece, 1 unit of 66 centimeters. And finally, the F pieces, which are the complicated ones, the diagonals. They're not really complicated, but this angle has to be adapted to the structure of the table. If we do everything by the book, you can cut these pieces and you won't have any problems. I recommend that you fit them in place before cutting them. These screws don't need a pilot hole, which is super practical, especially for this project that we want to finish quickly and with few tools. We have this part of the shank without threads, which will allow the two pieces to tighten together without the need for that pilot hole. Since this part of the screw won't catch on this piece and this threaded part will pull this piece against this one. That's the point of having half of the screw without threads. For these screws, we have to use a T20 bit. It says right there, T20 with a little torque symbol, and the T stands for Torx. The 20 is the size of the bit, which is this one right here. We have to sand the table. I don't have a sander here, so we're going back to the old school method of sanding by hand with sandpaper. Super fun. I want to tell you that I have a new woodworking joints course available on my website, barquitodevapor.com. Over there on the left, you're seeing images where I show the joints we're going to learn in that course. It's a course that has over 9 hours of content with 33 joints. I really put all my effort, love, and passion into it, so I'm very proud and very happy. And I hope all of you can enroll. You can find it at barquitodevapor.com. Right there on the same page on my website where you'll find the free plans for this table, you can find that course. I hope you join in. Here we put this board to simulate the floor. From here to here, we need to have 28 centimeters, and from here to up here, 42. Here is where the seats will go, the boards where we are going to sit. We're almost ready. We just need to secure the table and put the diagonals that will go in the middle. Thank you, thank you. Is the crew result ready? Table ready. The angles turned out well. I did it exactly as the plan said. I can recommend that you first assemble that structure, meaning these two diagonals and the one that goes under the tabletop, and then adjust the distance of the legs based on that structure already built. That way, it will be easier so that everything fits well. How much did this table cost us in materials? I used 10 boards of 2 by 6, 3 meters long. 20 feet long at the current price, that's about 78,000 pesos. The box of screws cost 13,000 pesos, and we used one box and a little more, which gives us approximately 15,000 pesos in screws. And the final finish, I used the Q-Tech that I already had, but I'm estimating more or less. For paint, it could be 7,000 pesos, and for primer, like Surstein, it could be another 10,000 pesos. With 100,000 pesos, you can have this table ready. That's about $110. It's a very easy table to make. I made it in one day, and it's super solid, practical, easy, and fun to make. I hope you get motivated, and I'll see you soon in the next video. Remember, the plans are free. Subscribe.